growing up in the 1980s, certainly kind of the heyday of the horror genre. The genre certainly got a lot of love and was, I would consider, its most mainstream at that point in history. So certainly a steady diet of Halloween and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies, probably at an age maybe a little young, but I did enjoy them, and I like the magic of cinema in general, but not just horror, all forms of cinema. It's always been a passion of mine, and that passion kind of stuck with me right into adulthood. That was the first inkling of my interest in wanting to work professionally in the film business. You know, I went to school for 4 years. I got a communications degree with a concentration in radio, TV, and film production. And honestly, I had absolutely zero connections. So I started at the bottom of the totem pole. I was a PA, you know, which is basically a gopher position on a film set and do whatever they needed me to do, whether that was take lunch orders or pick up camera gear from a rental house or hand out scripts on set or general cleanup or whatever. But did that a few years to get my footing and really learn the process. And then I ultimately met a production designer who was working on a show that I was still in the production department for, a show called Celebrity Ghost Stories, which was on the Discovery Channel for many years back in the day. I think it had 5 or 6 seasons. And I didn't really know, I knew that props and art existed on film sets, but I didn't really know the process behind it, and he was the production designer. So I expressed interest and just said, hey, if you need help, let me know. And you know, I'm very grateful. He kind of showed me the ropes and taught me how to set scenes and make things look good and maintain continuity and things like that, all things that are generally the responsibility of someone in the art department. You know, so once I kind of got a taste of that, I realized that that was going to be the best place for me to continue my career. Probably my favorite, just because I'm a fan of spooky movies and the horror genre in general, would be The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. It's currently on Shudder, the streaming horror platform. I was the production designer for that show for a number of seasons. And it was really awesome because the content is something that I certainly relate to, you know, as a member in the film community. You know, you don't always get to work on things you're passionate about. You know, it is work like anything else. So sometimes it's a toothpaste commercial, but sometimes it's a horror TV show. So being that the content is all horror-centric and a lot of classics from the 70s and 80s, it was really awesome experience to work on that show for a number of seasons. They had guests on like Greg Nicotero while I was there, from The Walking Dead, of course, and the zombie films. Sven Gulli, another classic horror TV host, still on the air to this day. It's great to work professionally alongside people that you grew up watching and have a fondness for, and who share that enthusiasm for the genre that you love, which for me is horror movies. There was a sequence where we were in New York City in Queens, and we were filming at a train yard, a yard where they repair commuter trains. And the scene was literally putting this old car on a railroad track, and we loosened up all the door bolts and the hood bolts and everything, basically so that the train would eventually hit it and crash into the car. And we put a big dummy, you know, in the driver's seat and everything. And I had never witnessed anything like that, and that was probably the craziest stunt I've ever witnessed with my own two eyes. And this train came and just hit this very old Cadillac from the 1980s, and just the doors came off and the hood popped up and all the glass shattered, and it was really amazing to witness, and it looked spectacular on film. That was definitely just from a sheer volume of how crazy you're seeing a car get hit by a train in real time, you know, and it's safe, you know, no one's getting hurt. But that's you know, some of the beauty of movie magic. It was just fun because, you know, I'm getting assignments to make props that are centric to, you know, that you can't do outside of the horror genre. You know, we had a karaoke machine from hell, basically, with horns and all bloodied up, and it was supposed to be the devil's karaoke machine, and just silly stuff that I guess outside of the horror genre, things you'd never get to create. One of the memories that stands out was we did a riff on the dream sequence from Day of the Dead, where the girl is walking by the wall and the zombie hands pop out of the wall. So they wanted to replicate that with the co-host Darcy. So me and my team, we fabricated this faux wall with fake plaster and stuff, and had to score it behind to make it easy for the hands to pop through and everything. And then they got like the whole crew, it's like 20 sets of hands, we're all on ladders behind the faux wall, and waiting for the 3, 2, 1 to punch our hands through the wall, and it looked totally awesome. It was just really cool. That's a great movie, and I mean the whole Dead series is awesome, and certainly obviously tons of ties to Pittsburgh with George Romero and Tom Savini being heavily involved in that franchise. So that was really a fun one. Some people do ask me, how does one go about owning a fictional serial killer's vacation home a couple 100 miles from where they live? And when I read that this house became available for sale, which was late 2020, probably around Halloween 2020, I just read an article on some movie site. I couldn't even tell you which one it was. Some site on social media. It said, "The Silence of the Lambs house is for sale." And I immediately read the article, and I was like, oh, where is that? I had no idea, truthfully, that Silence was pretty much exclusively shot in Pittsburgh, with a handful of other areas, but predominantly a Pittsburgh-made movie. And it was, I read the article, I was like, wow, how about that? And within an hour or two of reading that article, I kind of had that proverbial moment, where the light bulb went off. I'll bet people would absolutely love to see what that place is like, being that the whole finale of the film essentially takes place in this house and right here in this room where we're sitting. Ted Levine was right behind me at the curio, and Jodie Foster was right there pulling her firearm on him. It's like an iconic moment in cinema, and to make it a tangible item that people can kind of touch and experience and walk away with their own memories from it, I just thought was super cool. So that began the process of reaching out and getting in the car to drive out here and see it with my own 2 eyes. And once I saw it, I knew I would give it a try. So we booked this house for up to 8 guests at once, and it's one party at a time, essentially. So every group is guaranteed a private and immersive experience. We want you to have your own space and your own time. It's all self-check-in and self-check-out. And I found in the first 3 years, people really gravitate to that because they feel they can do everything at their leisure and their own pace. Some people explore right away. Some people want to run and watch the movie right away. Some people want to go to the interactive film sets in the basement, Buffalo Bill's workshop, and the interactive well built in partnership with Tom Savini's special effects makeup school.
Wow, it's perfect. It's just perfect.
I love the fingernails. It's a great touch.
Yep.
Is she down there? Is there a girl down there now?
Catherine Martin could definitely be down there. We do take.
The well is awesome. No, the well is so cool. I fell in it. I had to experience falling in the well. I thought it was going to be foam rubber or something, but it's real bricks, real hard. I'm happy about any collaboration that the school does, but especially with the Buffalo Bill House. This is a landmark. There's a lot of atmosphere in here. There's a harp, there's skulls. What more can you ask for?
Creating that experience and letting people do it at their own leisure, I thought and ultimately found was the best way to do it. Let people create their memories on their own in a timeline that works for them, and basically give them the keys to Buffalo Bill's house to explore it at their leisure. Been very appreciative that after being open for, we just had our 3-year anniversary open as a business, that we've hosted guests from approximately 35 states here in America and about 8 or 9 international countries. Guests traveling, our furthest travelers, we've had guests from Germany, Finland, Denmark, Spain, France, and last month we actually had a tour guest from China. actually. So it blows my mind in the best way. Truly humbling to know that this concept is resonating that far away, essentially on the other side of the planet, and that people do have the same fondness that I have for this cinematic history, which this house is certainly rich with. And it's awesome to share it with those people and then hear their reactions to it. But our secondary format is to do guided tours. Our guided tours happen about only 6 weekends out of the year. We tour exclusively from May through October, and we always do a weekend tour, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with multiple time slots available. And every tour is a full 2-hour experience. And some people have mentioned, like, how do you tour one house for 2 hours? Well, we're an interactive tour. So there are awesome video breaks, not only of the film, but some behind the scenes footage of filming here at the house. And one of the things that I think separates our tour from probably every other tour you've ever been on is that, we call ourselves an immersive tour and an interactive tour. We don't want you to just learn about the movie that was shot here 30 years ago, Silence of the Lambs. We want you to experience it firsthand by proxy of our film sets in the basement, physically recreate the scenes that were shot in these rooms, the foyer, the dining room, and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see people's reactions to it, because we try to take it to a level where we're not just teaching you about this movie and what was done here. We're letting you walk in the steps of cinema history for yourself. Another scene people love to kind of be what I call the creeper photo of Bill at the front door when he's poking his head out when he first answers the door to Jodie Foster. They like to pose with Jodie's, we have a prop firearm on the tour, pose with her firearm as she is investigating the basement and get that shot screen accurate. And of course, imitate Buffalo Bill and recreate the iconic dance scenes in the basement via Goodbye Horses playing. And we have a full wardrobe of kimono and wig and little Preciouses scattered about, Precious Buffalo Bill's puppies scattered about all over the house. So people really have fun with it. They get into character, and it's fun to see people who have such an affinity for the film itself. They love standing in exactly the footsteps where these actors stood, made cinema history, and then get the photos for themselves. But I'm so grateful to report that the community's really been very welcoming to Buffalo Bill's house, and all of our guests have treated our neighbors with respect, and vice versa. I think the people who come here really appreciate what this house represents and what it stands for, and for those reasons, like, it couldn't really have worked out any better. I'm on a first name basis with all the neighbors here, and we stay in touch. If if there's a tree limb down, they might send me a text or something from a storm, and everyone's been really great. I can't say anything negative about the community. In fact, it's been met with a lot of love and support, and I'm very grateful for that, because it could have gone the other way. And, I just wanted everyone in the community to know that, Buffalo Bill's house is a kind of a love letter to cinema, and, for people who have a fondness for what I have a fondness for. As a small family business, which is what we are, I think it's had a tremendous positive effect on Pittsburgh as a whole. I think Buffalo Bill's house is another feather in the cap to Pittsburgh's deep roots to the horror movie genre. Obviously, George A. Romero and Tom Savini, prominent figureheads from this region. Greg Nicotero as well. Night of the Living Dead, Creepshow, Dawn of the Dead, shot just a half hour away at the Monroeville Mall. A lot of our guests love to go see these iconic locations, and we encourage it. We give you a whole address book of different Silence of the Lambs locations, where the Evans City Cemetery, where Night of the Living Dead was shot, the Creepshow house. There's so many cool locations in this region, so for us to kind of pop up in the last 3 years and kind of add to that, I think it's a great thing, because it's really pointing out the rich history that Pittsburgh has to not only cinema, but specifically, spooky movies and the horror genre. I mostly appreciate the fact that people point out time and time again the attention to detail within the home itself, kind of the staging of the props and the design and the artwork. Of course, the sets in the basement are what everyone looks forward to, getting photos, getting inside the well, getting photos, recreating the sequences from silence. That's really the greatest compliment to me, and something I really appreciate hearing, because, you know, Buffalo Bill's house is really kind of the hybrid of my professional background, handling props and doing art direction and working on sets and creating visual aesthetics that are pleasing for the, you know, for the eye for film purposes. But then it's also my personal interest in just cinema and horror movies and everything else. So the fact that people relate to that and experience it in their own timeline, and also ultimately love it the same way I do, that's the greatest compliment about owning the house. Buffalo Bill's house is featured in a brand new documentary called The House From. Very exciting. It's produced by Ryan Reynolds, of course, of Deadpool fame and many other awesome movies. His company, Maximum Effort. Its world premiere is October 25th at another famous actor, Kevin Smith of Clerks and Mallrats and Jay and Silent Bob fame, at his personal movie theater in New Jersey at Smodcastle Cinemas, and it's starting to stream on October 27th on Fubo TV app. So super exciting, and the whole documentary focuses upon the experience of what it's like when someone owns a famous movie or TV house. I have two that haven't come out yet. I think are coming out in 2025. One's called The Pitchfork Retreat, which has Tony Todd in it, famous for playing the Candyman, and Ben in Savini's remake of Night of the Living Dead from 1990. And I have another movie coming out, Deadly Endings, I worked on. We shot over the summer. It's a horror anthology, so 3 short stories that has Felissa Rose in it from the Sleepaway Camp trilogy, Hatchet, and a bunch of other awesome horror movies. So it is nice that in my travels of professional career, I've gotten to work alongside, you know, the people that I grew up watching. You know, that's definitely been awesome. So in addition to overnight stays and our guided tour formats, one of the things that we're starting to roll out here at Buffalo Bill's house is the opportunity for on-location filming services, not only to the Pittsburgh community, but to the filming community as a whole. With my 20 years in the business, I think that Buffalo Bill's house is the perfect place for Pittsburgh filmmakers and filmmakers as a whole to come and shoot at the end of the day. It's a passion of mine, and since it's something I do for a living, I would like nothing more than to share this house with people who want to create, whether it's a feature, a short film, a music video, you know, you name it. We have the space to park production vehicles. We have the space to accommodate large numbers of people, and we would like nothing more than to get that message out that Buffalo Bill's house is absolutely available for any sort of feature, short, music video, you name it. We'll come up with a way to make it work. We've had some podcasts film here, which have been on the internet. We've had the heavy metal band Taproot come and film a music video here recently, which was very exciting. I saw those guys back in the day. Pretty cool to have them come shoot at my house. And we've also had a lot of horror movie celebrities come and visit the house. We've had Kane Hodder come visit, famous for playing Jason Voorhees, the hockey mask serial killer from Friday the 13th. We did a photo shoot here at the house for the Rue Morgue magazine, very well-known horror publication that's been around forever.
Hey guys, Chris Rowan here, standing with the man, Jason Voorhees himself, Mr. Kane Hodder. We have some big news for you. The official Face of Horror contest, Kane Hodder is coming to greet the winner.
We will be there at the Buffalo Bill house, of course, and we'll be having a lot of fun. And one special thing I wanted to announce is that I'm actually going to kill one person that shows up. So watch your back, motherfuckers.
Here we go. You heard it here first. Check out BuffaloBillsHouse.com for more information, and we'll see you guys soon.
We will have fun.
Last year we had Brooke Smith here, famous for playing Catherine Martin, the girl trapped in the well in Silence of the Lambs. She took a guided tour.
Hi everyone, Brooke Smith here, and
Chris Rowan.
so we're wanting to tell you that for the first time since the movie was filmed, I believe that I'm going to be going to the Buffalo Bill house. I mean, I'm apparently getting in the pit.
Yes.
I've done lots of therapy, so I'm hoping I'll be okay.
We had KDKA Pittsburgh here, and the Tribune Live, Pittsburgh Tribune, the Post Gazette. So, you know, we want people to know at the end of the day that this is not just for fandom. It can be used for professional use, and we certainly encourage it. And I'm happy to say, though I can't tell you the title, that our first feature is that we've contracted to shoot here is shooting very soon at the house. And it is a spooky movie, but I can't tell you what it is. For more information on overnight stays, guided tours, and on-location filming, you can check us out at buffalobillshouse.com. We're also on all the social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Be sure to check us out, or else you'll get the hose again.